Sun TV. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mohammad from Sun TV. Welcome to the annual Academy Awards, also known as the Oscars, at the Dolby Theatre. Even with Dolby's power, it still can't surround James Corden. If anyone even dares come on stage to slap or push me, know this: I can defend myself. I studied under Master Bruce Lee. He was on the 3rd floor, and I was on the 2nd floor. That joke was from Martin Lawrence, who was with Will Smith in the Bad Boys franchise. However, in reality, you can't be Bad Boys for life, as movie number 4 is put on hold indefinitely. Yesterday, someone spray painted a swastika on Donald Trump's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but the police are still trying to figure out whether it was a supporter or an opponent. Either way, they are likely to be very fine people on both sides. Hollywood has many problems and issues which run rampant throughout its history. In 1915, D.W. Griffith's The Birth of a Nation was the foundation that American cinema is built upon, having been screened at the White House, prompting President Woodrow Wilson to declare it as history written in lightning. It was celebrated for its technological mastery of visual storytelling, yet its narrative is nothing more than racist propaganda. The heroes of the film are the Ku Klux Klan, also known as KKK, who ride in at the appropriate climactic moment to save the day. The birth of a nation is at the root, so if racism is at the root, then that fruit which emerges from this tainted root can only be the fruit of racism. Do you think fancy hashtags will make a tangible difference in the long term? Hashtag #MeToo, hashtag #OscarsSoWhite. It's weird Hollywood hates Trump, considering that the Oscar is a tiny gold man that has historically overlooked minorities. Joaquin Phoenix stressed the importance of climate change in his acceptance speech at last year's Oscars, and Vin Diesel actually changed his name to Vin Solar. Why can't films just be awarded for the quality of the content and their impact on the viewers? Why is it that Oscars are awarded based on the size of the marketing budget, commercialism, Oscar bait bias, or career honor, which actually awards an Oscar by recognizing a distinguished nominee's entire body of work instead of the actual Oscar for that specific film? What does the Hollywood producer and a flat earther have in common? Someone is bound to believe in them. Take Western cowboy films. Growing up, I used to love watching Clint Eastwood films, as well as John Wayne flicks. I used to take the sides of the cowboys and thought they were the good guys and the Native Americans were the bad guys. Only after I grew up some more and found that the American genocide on the Native Americans, they were an indigenous tribes who had their ancestral land stolen, made to sign one-sided treaties, live in reservations, subject to enslavement and subject to wars and ethnic cleansing. Now, anytime I watch a Western, I'm with the underdogs, the Native Americans. Why do Native Americans hate snow? Because it's white and it's all over their land. The best thing to happen at these godforsaken Oscars was when Sachin Littlefeather, the Native American, refused to accept Marlon Brando's 1973 Oscar for Best Actor due to the Wounded Knee activists. She gave a minute-long speech at the ceremony itself, where the guests didn't have the respect to be quiet and instead discourteously booed at her. She, however, read the full 15-page speech at the press conference thereafter. If you were to second-guess your decision to book time at a Native American community, that would be a reservation, reservation, reservation. Hollywood has had a complicated history with Islam, from Middle East invasions to Muslim country bans and everything in between. Santa Claus is the only bearded man I know who can fly over the United States without any visa problems. Popular films are depicting crude and exaggerated stereotypes of Muslims and perpetuating Islamophobia. From the estimated 500,000 Hollywood films, as a practicing Muslim, I only own a handful of movies which truly inspire me and which show Muslims as peaceful, positive people. Strangely enough, none of them have won an Oscar, in reverse date order of release. 2001, Ali, starring Will Smith, based on boxer Muhammad Ali, his heavyweight title, conversion to Islam, criticism of the Vietnam War, banishment from boxing, and his return to boxing. 1998 Jinnah, starring Christopher Lee, who said this film was the best performance of his career, even beating his James Bond villain role in Goldfinger, and shows the struggles he had to go through to achieve independence for the country of Pakistan. 1992 Malcolm X, starring Denzel Washington, based on American civil rights activist Malcolm X, based on his autobiography From Cradle to Grave, showing his life transformations at various stages. And finally, 1976 The Message, starring Anthony Quinn, based on the spread of Islam, revelation of the Holy Quran. Speaking about the Holy Quran, this evening, let's break down barriers, and I beg your indulgence to allow me to read you the first chapter of the Holy Quran in English. Chapter 1, the opening. In the name of Allah, the All-Beneficent, the All-Merciful. All praise belongs to Allah, Lord of all the worlds, the All-Beneficent, the All-Merciful, Master of the Day of Retribution. You alone do we worship, and to you alone do we turn for help. Guide us on the straight path, the path of those whom you have blessed, such as have not incurred your wrath, nor are astray. Now let's take someone like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. At one time he actually slept on an abandoned mattress. Now he sleeps on bedrocks. So, if Hollywood's future stars are present-day professional wrestlers, present-day professional wrestlers are yesterday's NFL players. So, if you're currently an NFL player, you too might be a future Hollywood A-lister. Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to retire from films and open a pest control business. He said, "I can't wait to start my new life as an exterminator." Hollywood is a cult with secret rules managed by gatekeepers who only allow you to take the next step up if you sell your soul, from blackface to Scarface and every other in-between face. Hollywood is already eclipsed by the gaming industry. No matter how many sequels, prequels, reboots, remakes, spin-offs and crossovers they make, people are waking up and leaving Hollywood, and all the better for it. What does Microsoft and Hollywood have in common? For each release they make, it gets worse. If you really want to improve Hollywood, stop feeding the machine, stop buying the films, stop going to the cinemas. Instead of wasting hours on entertainment, reflect upon life, read a book, help someone, write poetry, and either support or become that independent voice on social media. For all you guests here, enjoy your $100,000 goodie bag, also known as a Everyone Wins gift bag. It's worth 6 times more than the 2022 federal minimum annual salary of a US worker. Anyway, let's see what it contains. A 3-night stay in a Scottish Turin castle, 4-night stay at the Golden Door Resort in California, a small plot of land in Scotland, along with the title Lord or Lady of Glencoe, a liposuction procedure, treatments and rejuvenation procedures, a life coaching session, popcorn. I think the only thing I can afford on that list is popcorn. Popcorn, ice, sand and water. That's my bucket list. What's yours? Lastly, before I leave, I happen to acquire a spare Oscar by any means necessary, and I want to give it to the best film in Hollywood who never won one. It is obviously the 1992 Spike Lee joint Malcolm X. Come on up, Denzel and Spike. Thank you very much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. Good night, God bless.